Man, you guys just naturally quieted it down before we even started. I think you're just excited to hear from our guest tonight as well. So basically, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Good evening. Wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone present tonight. The board, the superintendent, and I were pleased that you have joined us to celebrate student achievement, review information. We're going to make some policy decisions tonight related to the effective operation of the Polk County Public School Board. I would like to call the February 25th, 2025 regular school board meeting to order. So we're going to have Vice Chair Sharpless lead us in our invocation tonight. So if you could please stand, and we have a guest that will lead us in the pledge. So if you could remain standing.
Please bow our heads. Dear precious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the many blessings you give to us. We ask that you give us wisdom and guidance, Lord, because it says in your word in James 1:5, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives it generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. So we ask that when we're making all our decisions as a board, that you give us wisdom and guidance, Lord. We ask for safety at all of our schools. Put a hedge of protection around our schools and keep our students and staff safe, Lord. And we also ask that you give endurance to our staff as we are working in the school year, Lord, and to finish strong when we get close to the end. In your precious heavenly name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. So, Ms. Carolyn, you come lead us tonight.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. So if everybody can be seated, except our guest. So sorry I didn't get a chance to come over and meet you before the meeting started. We were pretty busy up until the very start of our meeting. But we have all had a chance to read your bio. So impressive. So excited to hear from you and allow us to honor you tonight and your accomplishments. So if you could just introduce yourself and anybody that you have with you tonight.
My name is Caroline Bates. I have my mother and my principal.
All right. Could y'all stand up, please? All right. Let's give them a round of applause. Very nice to have y'all in the boardroom tonight as well. Introduce yourself a bit. Give us a little bit of background about who you are. Maybe your interests, what grade you're in.
I'm in 7th grade, and I've done band for Rochelle. This is my 2nd year, and I've been in plays and musicals.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. We've got some individuals on the board here that love theater. In a big way. So hopefully you'll see us in the audience one day. Now, instruments. You play multiple instruments?
I play the trumpet, flute, and piano.
Wow. Impressive. Very impressive. Okay, and your favorite subject?
Probably history.
History. It's amazing. I don't know. So, okay, you're actually going to be performing is what I read too. You have something coming up?
Yes, this April I have the production of Willy Wonka Jr.
All right, excellent. Ms. Griffin, when can we get tickets for this?
When can we get
Yeah.
It should be on sale now. I'll email you.
All right, very good. Excellent. Tell us something about your school that we should know.
It's a very nice school that really furthers the education in arts and academics.
Very, very good indeed. And Rochelle is a very successful school, so we're so thankful for the leadership there. I don't know, your biggest dreams. When I read this one, it stuck out to me in a big way, but what's your future, your big dreams? I could share what I read, but yeah. So you have big dreams. Okay, maybe you wrote this, maybe not. But it says that you wanted to be an English professor?
English or history professor.
English or history? Wow. I don't think I've ever met anybody that said that's their pursuit. So that is pretty amazing. Do you have any favorite, like, what drew you to that, I guess?
My history teacher, Mr. Ronades, he helped me show me what he can do to further us, and so I wanted to help other people further them.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And the impact of your teacher, incredible. When I read it, it's like, okay, in my mind, I'm like, okay, do I have a favorite English professor? I don't know if anybody has a favorite, but one for me is Marshall McLuhan. He is a media theorist, but he was an English professor first and is considered the father of media studies. So you've got an awesome career ahead of you. Pretty amazing. So I don't know, your favorite thing when you arrive on campus at Rochelle School of the Arts. What is it, like? Do you have any routines, or is there something that you just love to do? Something.
I love going to the band room to pick up my instrument because it always greets me with the warm welcome I have.
That is so awesome. So if you could just introduce your principal to us.
This is my principal, Carolee Griffin.
All right, very good. We are so thankful that you are in the boardroom tonight, and we appreciate your accomplishments and everything that you're doing to represent Polk County so well. So if we could, let's give her a round of applause tonight for being here. So if y'all would do a group picture in the front there, we do have our photographer ready. All right, very nice. So again, thanks for joining us, and I hope the rest of the school year goes amazing. Board members, the first item on our agenda tonight is the acceptance of our agenda. Superintendent, do we have any revisions on the agenda as printed?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. Several agenda items were revised or updated. Item B, number 1, new administrators, attachments were added. Item L, number 1, non-instructional personnel action items, attachments were updated. Item L, number 2, administrative personnel actions, attachments were updated. Item S3, interim agreement with Fortress Secured LLC, item was removed. Item S3, half-cent sales tax oversight committee nominee, Sarah Corona, item was added. That concludes revisions, sir.
All right, thank you, Superintendent. So at this time, the chair will entertain a motion to accept the agenda for February 25th, 2025 with the noted revisions. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
All right, so the motion was made by Mr. Keys and seconded by Mr. Sharpless. Any discussion, board members? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. All right, moving down on our agenda tonight, we have new administrators. Superintendent, would you lead us through our next item?
My pleasure, Mr. Chair. At this time, I'd like to introduce Michael Bellows, Senior Manager for Staffing, being promoted to Director for School Budgets and Staffing.
Good evening. This mic? This mic?
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. So I didn't realize that the rest of the people had prepared speeches, so I just want to say a really quick thank you to Superintendent Hyde, Ms. Jenkins, Mr. Pitts, Mr. Fout, my amazing team, and also my family, obviously, who I have my wife and my 2 kids with me, Theodore and Eloise, and then my mom. So for those of you who know, yes, I would not be here without her, and yes, she's doing well. And yes, she's enjoying retirement. And yes, I do also miss her so very much here at the district. So, yeah, thank you, everyone.
Please don't go anywhere. We got to take pictures. Oh, he's a little guy.
Nice.
That's when they listen. You guys are a bad influence. Next, we have LaCorsha Wilson, Senior Manager, Personnel Classification and Compensation, being promoted to Director for Classification and Compensation. Good evening. Congratulations.
Ooh, I'm nervous. I thought I'd be okay to say something. Good evening, everyone. Thank you to the board members, Superintendent Hyde, and our amazing team of leaders here at Polk County Public School. I stand before you today with a profound sense of gratitude for the opportunity to serve as Director of Classification and Compensation. I don't take this moment or opportunity for granted. I look forward to continuing to serve in this capacity and any other that I am needed in. I'd like to give a special thanks to Jessica McNamara, my Senior Director of Personnel, as well as our Associate Superintendent of Human Resources, Brian Warren, for seeing more in me and trusting me with our compensation area. To Macy, Anthony, and LaQuasia, thank you for your encouragement and trusting me as well. To my parents, Connie and Graylin, thank you for loving me unconditionally. Thank you for advising me that in every no, it isn't a failure, but it shows that I didn't give up. Look, I didn't give up. To my sister and niece, I love you immensely. To my babies, Adeline, Gabrielle, and Marte Jr., thank you for your many sacrifices. Mommy will continue to owe you the world. Also, Junior, I know the Tooth Fairy missed it, but I called the headquarters and they'll be back tonight. To my amazing husband, thank you. Thank you for your sacrifices, your love, and your push. It is always appreciated. Thank you for the encouragement no matter the time, day, or night. No matter how many times I've complained and told the story over, you still listened. Your support over the years means everything to me. Thank you.
Congratulations again. Next, we have Caprila Jennings, Acting Assistant Director for Graduation and Enhancement, being promoted to Assistant Director of Graduation and Enhancement.
First, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for this position. I would like to thank the board. Thank you. I would like to thank Mr. Hyde, Mr. Green, and Everett. Yes. I would like to thank my district-based team. They're awesome. And Everett again, Darren Williams, Felicia Fletcher Young, and Susie Wilcoxon. You guys rock. And I would like to thank my amazing family for their unwavering support. I love you so much, and thank you. Thanks.
Congratulations. This is a rare sighting because Mr. Whaley is usually operating behind the scenes. So this is your opportunity to take a photo while he's out in the wild. But Nathan is our Senior Coordinator for Public Relations, and he is being promoted to Assistant Director for Creative Communications. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Superintendent Hyde, school board members. I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight and to be recognized. And I'm very grateful that I've been able to have a 28-year career here at Polk County Public Schools. Like many other administrators that come up to this podium, I am a product of Polk County Public Schools. It's through that educational experience that actually brought me to this position. I was fortunate enough to join with a ITV program when I was a junior in high school. That led me to a part-time job as a senior in high school, and then that grew. And as I went to college, I continued to work with ITV, and I knew that when I graduated, I always wanted to come back here and continue to serve and promote that program that had meant so much to me. And over the years, I've had an opportunity to work in community relations, and then over a decade in workforce education, where I was able to promote career academies and CTE programs, and now 10 years back in public relations, where I'm able to promote all those programs still, but so many more. So I'm so grateful for that opportunity. I want to thank my team in public relations. As you're all aware, I think, I don't want to speak for them all, but I'm pretty sure I can say that we're all content with being behind the scenes people. We're not generally out in front of the camera. We're happy to do our job and just, do our best to promote the district and promote our programs, but they really do an incredible job every day. They are true professionals, and I'm so grateful to work with them. So I want to thank Jessica and Matt from our video team, and Jace Maley and Jordan from our graphics team, and Gus and Richard from our web team. I'm truly grateful to work with them every day, as well as Jason Geary, who I'm grateful for his wisdom and leadership that he provides. I want to thank my family who's here with me tonight, my wife Amanda and my sons Ethan and Caleb. When you work in a multimedia environment, sometimes the schedules can be a little bit strange. We have deadlines that sometimes require, nights and weekends to make those deadlines happen. We have events that require us to be the first ones in and the last ones to leave. And then we have times like graduation where I hardly see them for, a week at a time. But they're always very supportive, and I appreciate them very much and love them. And thank you very much for this opportunity. As a 17-year-old high school kid, I never thought that I would be here for almost 30 years now, but I'm grateful for that opportunity, and I hope to continue to serve Polk County Schools for a long time. So thank you very much.
So while Nathan was speaking, it actually made me realize we need to come up with another challenge coin for the spouses or significant others of all of our employees who put in all these hours. So, and he and his team, you all know this, we're going into graduation season soon, and they're first thing in the morning before the sun comes up. They're there well after the events end, and so we're very grateful for all that they do. So, thank you. Next, we have Hunter Williams, Administrative Assistant for Stambaugh Middle School, being promoted to Acting Assistant Principal at Lakeland Highlands Middle. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Honorable Chairman Allen, members of the school board, and Superintendent Hyde, I wanted to say thank you very much for the opportunity to serve in this new role. As a former student of the Polk County School Board, it was my inspiration to encourage students and push them and make them strive to be better for who they are. I wanted to thank a few people while I'm here. Mr. Drew Gainey, Denise Sharp for pushing me and always being there when I needed advice or just a listening ear. I can never thank you enough for all that both of you have taught me, only to hope to become as successful as a leader as both of you. I also wanted to thank Mr. Monticelli for welcoming me to the team at Lakeland Highlands Middle School. I also wanted to thank my family, Brandy, Kennedy, and Sawyer, my daughters, for all their support, my mom and dad for their encouragement, with my mom preceding me with having 31 years and retiring from the school board. My main focus, like I said, as a teacher, academic coach, dean, and new administrator has always been building relationships and fostering positive learning environment, and I'm excited about this opportunity at Lakeland Highlands Middle.
Congratulations. Next, we have Jordan Jones, Administrative Assistant at Lakeland High School, being promoted to Acting Assistant Principal 11 month at Lakeland High School.
Superintendent Hyde, members of the board, and everyone here tonight. I want to express my gratitude for being named acting assistant principal at Lakeland High School. It's a huge honor, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve our students in the role. I want to highlight and thank you for the investment that Polk County Public Schools has had in my professional development. Being a part of the PCPS USF leadership cohort, Aspiring Leaders, and recent Ignite programs have been instrumental in my growth as a leader. And I'm blessed to have been trained by some of the best people around, and in building relationships with them has been an incredible experience. I want to give a special shout out to Tracy Collins for how you set the standard of excellence throughout your career, as well as for your encouragement and belief in me. I also want to thank you and the PCPS leadership for entrusting the Lakeland High School community to the care of Mr. Alan Duget, who's not only an incredible school leader, he's also a wonderful mentor and a man that is truly nulli secundus, second to none. To my teammates here supporting me tonight, Brenda Yop, Jeff Barr, Ingrid Ansbaugh, Jennifer Hart, Thomas Williams, I appreciate you guys so much, more than you could know. And of course, I want to thank my wife and kids, for whom my biggest supporter is everything. I'm a firm believer in the life-changing work we do here as educators, and I'm a proud product of Polk County Public Schools. I'm committed to continually growing as I work to serve our students, parents, staff, and community. Thank you again, everybody, and I'm looking forward to what's ahead. Thank you.
She is not happy. Come on, big smile. Did we get a smile, Rick? Okay, good. All right. And lastly, board members, we have Luis Lopez Santiago, Administrative Assistant at Mulberry High School, being promoted to Acting Assistant Principal at Citrus Ridge, a civics academy.
Thank you. I want to start by thanking the members of the board and Superintendent Hyde for this appointment. I also like to thank those who place their trust and confidence in me, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Livingston, Mr. Gonzalez, Ms. Rivera. Thank you for encouraging me and to do more and give more to for our students to do better. I also want to thank Ms. Collins, Mr. Bruno, and Dr. Brooks for the chance to serve as an assistant principal at Citrus Ridge. And talking about Citrus Ridge, I want to thank my admin team, Ms. Wright, Ms. Williams, Ms. Lundquist. Thank you for the shared experiences that are making me a better assistant principal and a better educator. Last but not least, I want to thank my family, especially my wife and kids, for encouraging me and supporting me and being patient with me. So thank you, and I love you. Thank you all, and have a blessed night.
Congratulations. Called out. Thank you, Dr. Brooks. Great job. Congratulations. Mr. Chair, board members, that concludes new administrators for this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent. The next item up is our special recognitions. Superintendent, would you please lead us through our special recognitions?
My absolute pleasure. At this time, I'd like to ask Board Member Kay Fields to step down, who will be assisting us with this evening's special recognitions. I'd also like to invite Dr. Adrian Anthony, Senior Director for Equity and Compliance, to come forward for the recognition of our 24th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Essay Challenge participants and winners.
A triumphant Tuesday to Superintendent Hyde and the school board chair, Dr. William Allen, and to every school board member here. Thank you for your hard work and dedication to every staff and child in Polk County School District. But most importantly, thank you for investing in our students. We are excited to showcase a brief video of one of our scholars who was unable to read their speech. So we're going to roll a video for you, and I think you guys will love it. Roll the video.
My name is Jordan, and I am in second grade, and I will be reading my Martin Luther King essay. I could make a difference. I could make a difference. Our world is full of confusion and hate, and if I could change the world using nonviolence, here are the things I would do. I would first start with myself by not being a bad person to people, because the more good people there are, the better our world can be. Next, I would pray for good and world peace and ask God to help people with their problems. It is good to go to God with your problems. Another important thing I would do is never steal anything from anyone, hurt anyone, and respect people's wishes. In our world today, there is a lot of violence happening, and I am hoping that all the things I would do will bring peace to our world. And that is my essay.
Round of applause. So with that same spirit of excellence, we would like to honor our Polk County School District students who wrote other life-changing essays to honor the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So what we're going to do is we're going to honor the theme, I Can Make a Difference, and how can I change the world with nonviolence? And so I'm going to call the third place, second, and first place winners. And then the first place winners, who are here with their parents and their guardians and their principal and also their family, they'll come forward, and their teachers. And so we'll start third place. They're not here, to first place. So the third place winner for the elementary school, grades K-2, is Leah Kumar from Winston Academy of Engineering. Round of applause. Second place is Carl Wolf from Citrus Ridge Civics Academy. And first place is Jordan Frazier. Come on down. From Citrus Ridge Academy. All right. Well, you just saw Jordan on the screen. All right. So for grades 3 to 5 for elementary school, third place we have Gia Sanchez from Citrus Ridge Civics Academy. Antonio Welch from Blake Academy. And Delaney Sire from Willow Oak Elementary School. I know the principal is here. Yes. And then we have a certificate. We'll hand those out. And a wonderful. She has a recital tonight, so she can make sure. For middle school, third place, we have Elisabella Petty from Daniel Jenkins Academy. Second place, we have Piper Christian from Magnolia Montessori Academy. And for first place, we have Katarina Cintron from Discovery Academy. And so we'll make sure that everyone gets it. Yep, here you go. And if you have any parents or guardians, or feel free. We welcome everyone. I know, come on down. She's also inducted into NJHS. Another round of applause. And for high school, third place winner, we have Journey Danielson, and Lakeland Gateway to College. Round of applause. Second place, we have Evie Stewart, Chain of Lakes Collegiate High School. And first place, we have Peyton James, Chain of Lakes Collegiate High School.
Did a great essay.
Really quick, we do have a representative for Jordan Frazier, so if they can come down really quick. So you saw her speech up there. She could not make it, but we do have her teacher and principal from Civic Ridge Civics Academy. So in conclusion, just want to say thank you so much for all the school board members and all the employees and our collaboration with Polk County and also Polk County employees and also Polk State for all your love and support. It made a difference for the families, and we truly appreciate all your support. All right, have a good night.
I want to thank our board members again. Many of you showed up for this event. Mr. Keys and Dr. Allen and Ms. Miller, I believe, had a private reading from a student who had to read their speech. But Jordan really stood out because this young lady placed and won in her division, but she was too nervous to stand up in front of everyone. So we sent the TV crew out to the school, and I think we did a great job capturing that, allowing her to share her thoughts on this. And so it's something that, based off tonight, watching that, we'll probably do with each of our finalists so the board can see these and we can play them on our website and social media throughout the month. I think that's important for us to recognize. So just wanted to give a little bit of context, and again, thank each of you for taking your time to come to that event as well. At this time, I'd like to invite Leanne Bennett, Senior Director for Career Technical Education and Adult Education, to recognize our CTE Month and CET Teachers and Students of the Year.
Hello. Thank you so much for letting us join you today, Superintendent Hyde and board members. As you mentioned, February is CTE month, and I thought there was no better way to celebrate that than to honor our students and teachers. First, we'd like to recognize our CTE Teachers of the Year. These educators have demonstrated exceptional commitment and excellence in their respective pillars. So we have 6 Teachers of the Year. First, we have in the field of agriculture from Lake Gibson High School, Paxton Evans. In our business.
Wait.
Sorry.
If our parents are here.
Come down and take the picture.
They're way in the back. They were going to hide. Mr. Van.
And Van.
Great job, young lady.
Thank you. In Business and Marketing Management from George Jenkins High School, Academy of Digital Technology, Jessica Salas.
If there's family, or there you go.
He was trying to hide.
One more.
In the Communications and Information Systems pillar from Harrison School of the Arts, Digital Video, Rick Jansen. In the Industrial Manufacturing and Engineering pillar from Fort Meade Senior High School, Construction Academy, Thomas Hoyne. In the Human Services and Resources pillar from Davenport High School Fashion Academy, Jamara Rodriguez. From the Health Science pillar from George Jenkins High School Medical Academy, Ivy Thomas. Don't leave. Mr. Van, tell her not to leave. Okay, we'd like a picture with just all the teachers and our staff. Oh, you go ahead. Yes. Please. Oh, elephants are my favorite.
How?
Okay, if we could have the teachers back, please. Thank you all so much for all the wonderful work you do for our students.
So since you're there, Ms. Anderson, I'm going to go ahead. I had you out of order here. So I'd like to introduce Ms. Jessica Anderson, Assistant Director for Career Tech Ed, to recognize the 36.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Am I not doing this?
We still have students to
I
recognize.
apologize.
I'm so
Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
It's a long
I
list.
thought you were cleaning up. I'm
I
sorry.
apologize.
I was trying to stop you from leaving. Okay.
Okay, so next we'd like to honor our students for Outstanding CT Students of the Year. These students have been nominated by their teachers for showing remarkable dedication and achievement in their career and technical education studies. In the field of agriculture, from Davenport High School, Soraya Lopitas. Is their family here? Okay. From our Business and Marketing Management pillar from Lake Region High School, Lily Jernigan, for Marketing IMAG Academy. Family members? And Miss Warner? And Mr. Lambert? Mr. He said no. Stayed in line. All right, thank you.
Good job.
In Communications and Information Systems pillar from George Jenkins High School, Michaela Belford for Digital Video Technology and Digital Design. Family. And then admin's coming. In our Industrial Manufacturing and Engineering pillar from Travis Technical College, Dylan Mock. He's a dual enrolled student in welding. Yeah, I think they are. I was going to do all. Come on. In Human Services and Resources from Fort Meade Middle Senior, Layla Carrillo for Culinary Arts. Dent. Oh, yeah. Thank you. In our health science pillar from Winter Haven High School, Danielle Williams. She's in the EKG program. Thank you. So before we, sorry, go ahead. Before we take our student picture, I have 2 final awards for our outstanding CT students with unique abilities. These students have demonstrated incredible perseverance and achievement in their career and technical courses. In the field of agriculture from Southwest Middle School, Danielle Tamayo.
Oh, boy. We're going to need to use the steps.
Oh. Thank you. And lastly, in Communications and Information Systems from Fort Meade Senior, Jaden Gould, Digital Media. If we could have our student winners, oh, Mr. Dent's got to take a picture. If we could have our student winners back when we finish this last picture. All right, students, she can stay. Jaden, if you'll stay.
Give him some direction, Rick. Miss Anderson is very tall. Now I can do it. Thank you. Mr. O, I'm gonna take Miss Anderson next since she's already here. So next, and she's already here at our podium, Miss Jessica Anderson, Assistant Director of Career Technical Education, is here to recognize and celebrate the 36th AgriFest.
Yes, so I'm speaking on behalf of Polk County Farm Bureau for tonight. Ourselves, Polk County Public Schools, Polk County Farm Bureau, and University of Florida IFAS work together to pull AgriFest, which is our 4th grade agricultural exploration event, together every year. So we're celebrating, this is year 36. So we're pretty excited about the sustainability of this program and as many students as that we have had to come through the program. So On your station, on your seat there, you should have had an invitation with the dates and the address of where AgriFest will be held the first 2 weeks of March, March 3rd through the 7th and the 10th through the 14th at the Polk County Agri Center. We will have a little over 5,000 Polk County fourth grade students coming through during those 2 weeks. We run about 550 students a day. March 12th is designated as our homeschool, private, and charter day. We invite those students as well. But really, I'm just here to invite you to come on out. We'll have about 240 classes with us, and we have 6 stations that are run by our industry professionals. Mosaic, which will do a phosphate unit, Florida Farms, which will be our IFAS extension agent, talking about small farms and honeybees and things like that. We have a Florida citrus station that's run by a different citrus producer every day. The Florida Master Gardeners Association will have a horticulture booth. The cattle women will have the beef. And then this year we're adding a new one in, which will be conservation, which will be sponsored by a few different agencies, all Florida, Florida Fish and Wildlife, and a few other state agencies. But we're adding in a little bit about what the wildlife corridor is and why that's important to Florida. So I hope you can come on out, 9 to 12 each day. You can stop by anytime. We'd love to have you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Henderson. And next, I'd like to introduce Ms. Carolyn Giroux, Director for Recruitment and Engagement, who's here to recognize our recent graduates of the Greenhouse Project.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you, Superintendent Hyde and board members. We are excited to introduce another set of graduates, our fall graduates for the Greenhouse Program. For those who may not know the Greenhouse Program, it's an opportunity for our employees, if they want to become teachers and may not have a bachelor's degree in education, we do reimburse them for their bachelor's degree and 50% of their textbooks. So we have 4 graduates this fall semester, and they're all now teaching with us now. So we are going to go ahead and introduce them and give them their presents. Our first one is Tracy Gauze. She was a principal secretary at George Jenkins High School and is currently a 4th grade teacher at Juanita Elementary.
Oh. Great school.
All right, our next graduate is Megan Stinson. She was a para at Gino Dell Learning Center and is now a kindergarten teacher at Ben Hill Griffin Elementary. And then we had 2 other teachers that could not make it, but I do want to recognize them and we'll be sending their information in the courier. Jenny Sear, she was a para at Willow Oak Elementary and is now a teacher at Willow Oak Elementary. And Lily Pfeiffer was a para at Gino Dell Learning Center and now a 3rd grade teacher at Bartow Elementary.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Giroux. And last but not least, I'd like to invite Rob Davis, Assistant Superintendent for Support Services, to come to provide recognition for Love the Bus Month.
Good evening, Chairman Allen, Superintendent Hyde, the honorable board members. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to recognize Love the Bus Month. Love Bus Month is a nationwide opportunity for schools and communities to recognize school bus drivers, attendants, and the support staff. So this year we did basically a nominee, and this is a video that you're going to see here that goes over through all of our areas while I speak through this process. So we came up with 6 criteria. Commitment to safety and efficiency, both directly or indirectly, reliability and punctuality, professionalism and attitude, impact on students and transportation, both direct with like bus drivers and bus attendants, or indirect, such as technicians, routers, managers, dispatchers, and other support staff. Problem solving and adaptability, and then exemplary service beyond expectations. So we had 20 plus nominees. We got a committee together. They looked at all of the nominees, and we came up with, we were going to present 4. We had 2 ties, so we're going to present 6 this evening. And we have 1 honorable mention. But before we get to that, I want to make sure I do a huge shout out to all the schools that are doing things for our bus drivers, our bus attendants, across the district. I can't name them all. I know there's a bunch of them that are doing it and are still doing it through the end of the month. It goes a long ways when the schools recognize the bus drivers and bus attendants. So we ranked in order. We had a tie for 4th place. Ayana Flores, she is a bus driver and / trainer. She is always upbeat, professional, positive while onboarding and training those applying to be bus drivers and bus attendants. I can say that she had a huge lift this year. She did our back to school in service on her own and did amazing jobs. So in the essence of time, I won't read all of the bullet points, but I just want to make sure that she is recognized for, 1, an awesome young human being that's going to go places in our department. So she is definitely going to be one of our leaders, and is a leader as is now. So Ayana, if you want to stand up there So tied is Daniel Strelo. He's a bus driver in Area 7. Daniel, Area 7 is the Point Siena, Haines City area. If I had to pick one of the things that stood out, he works at schools as well. So he not only transports students to and from school, he also assists students with limited mobility to get them to and from class every day between his routes. And we had a report from a school staff member, and this is what they reported. I was at a grocery store after work on February 19th and observed the following. There was an older lady who could not afford her groceries. The lady was $30 or more short. Daniel overheard the conversation between the shopper and the cashier, and without hesitation paid for the lady's groceries, said God bless, and walked away. It was the most selfless and kind act I have witnessed in a long time. So Daniel, that's amazing. Thank you. Our 3rd place is Amanda Gregory. Amanda Gregory is our support services analyst. Amanda started in the school system as a bus attendant and has worked her way through the district, now serving as our support service analyst. And she is a key player in our student ridership program, Reaxium. She is out in the field every day working with drivers, attendants, school staff, students, and parents. She is so involved in this, pushing this safety initiative that she's giving her cell phone number out so that they can call her at any time with any questions they may have. She truly puts the motto, students first. Thank you. So tied for 2nd is the first one is Shamika Davis. Shamika Davis is our dispatcher. She is one one of the first people to arrive at work in the morning, and that is before 5:30. She works until about 9:30. She returns to work around 1:30, and then she doesn't leave until the last bus clears. And that's usually between 6:15 and 6:30 on a good night. If you have any issues, that could be 7:30. And often she volunteers for projects between her routes, making a very, very long day. She never leaves the office that I can see. So she makes it.
Wow.
Miss Angela Harris, bus driver in Area 5. So Area 5 is the North Lakeland area. So North Lakeland area, Kathleen High School, Kathleen Middle School. So Angela truly loves her students. She has had her route modified to transport students that have not been successful on other buses, and has been able to connect with them and have them be successful on her bus, and that is a true gift. She is so connected with her students and her families that she realized a family was in need and took her weekend to help a family move and provided the necessary with the necessary items to start up the household. So, home cooked meals.
Wow.
And our number one ranked is Thomas Cummings III. He's a bus driver in Area 8. Area 8 does Ridge Community, the Point Siena area, right? Or no, Davenport area. Yeah, Davenport area. He has had perfect attendance for all the years he's been employed. That's 13, I think. 13. Hasn't missed a day. He is so well liked that schools ask for him by name, and he has been nominated for Employee of the Year. He assists in the area, provide extra training to new substitutes, making them feel comfortable and a part of the team. He is willing to move and do any route on any bus. He knows all the Area 8 routes, and when his manager provides him a run to cover, his manager doesn't have to worry. He also assisted a former coworker by caring for them and providing them food due to a family needing to go out of town on an emergency. So these are just a few of the humble, hardworking transportation, bus drivers, transportation support staff that we have. Like I said, there are 20 plus nominees. This was the first time we did it in this fashion. I think this will grow, and couldn't ask for a better group of people. And we have many of employees just like this across the entire district. So thank you all. We have all of our...
Hang on, don't go anywhere. Rick, I know that Mr. Davis was trying to be respectful of time, but with all due respect, they need individual photos with Ms. Fields, Mr. Davis, with Scott and the team, and then we need to do a group photo. So if you guys go ahead and join now, we can do the group photo, and then we'll take the time to take individuals. You deserve that, so.
Thank you, Mr. Hyde.
Really not. Really not. I had to chat GPT that.
Okay, you did.
Thank you. Good job, guys.
And while they're doing the individual pictures, oh, yes, ma'am.
Congratulations, sir. Great job. Doing good. How about you? Thank you for that. That's amazing, that story. Okay, we still need a quorum now. We're gonna have to take a recess. I don't have a quorum. I need one more. Oh, Miss Fields is in here. Okay. We're good. What?
Not to prolong this, but I had one honorable mention. Mr. Jeffrey Davis, Area 8 Manager, he was also nominated, but he nominated Mr. Thomas, so he's an honorable mention. As his supervisor said, Jeffrey takes pride in his work. He knows his area. He makes sure it runs smoothly. He's up very early, and he doesn't look for the recognition. He just wants to make sure that the students and his drivers are getting to and from school safely. So Jeffrey Davis, you are amazing.
Mr. Chair, that concludes special recognition for this evening.
All right. Thank you, Superintendent.
Up, Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis squared.
All right. Mr. Davis, thank you.
Good job, sir.
Thank you, thank you. All right. Thanks for being here tonight. So next up, board members, would be public comment on agenda items. We do not have any cards tonight to speak on agendaed items. So we're going to move down to the approval of the minutes. So we need to approve 3 sets of minutes tonight. The first set of minutes is for the January 28th, 2025 school board meeting. The chair will entertain a motion to accept the January 28th school board meeting minutes as written. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Mr. Sharpless made the motion and Ms. Wyatt seconded. Any discussion on those minutes? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. The second set of minutes is for the January 28th, 2025 work session meeting. The chair will entertain a motion to accept the work session meeting minutes as written. Do I have a motion and a second? Ms. Fields made the motion and Ms. Wyatt seconded. Any discussion on those work session meeting minutes? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Moving down to our third set of minutes. It's for the February 11th, 2025 work session meeting. The chair will entertain a motion to accept those meeting minutes.
So moved. Second.
All right. Mr. Keys made the motion and Mr. Sharpless seconded. I'd like to call for a vote now. But if you have any discussion on that. All right, seeing none, we'll call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Next up is our consent agenda for today's meeting. So the chair will now entertain a motion to accept the February 25th, 2025 consent agenda as printed. Do I have a motion and a second?
Second.
Ms. Fields made the motion and Ms. Wyatt seconded. Any discussion on our consent agenda tonight? These are items we've already work sessioned on, as well as some other items that we discussed earlier or looked at, considered. I don't see any discussion items there. So I'll call for a vote now. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Very good. And our consent agenda for tonight passes. Next, we come to our action agenda for the evening. Our first item on the agenda is S1, and this is entitled Policy Updates. So the suggested action is to approve policies as presented during the January 28th, 2025 public hearing. And previous to that, we did work session on those items as well. We've moved these policies through the extensive rulemaking process. The recommended policies for approval would be these as listed. So we've got 0615 entitled Meetings, 2421 Career and Technical Education, 5330.01 Self-Administered Medication, 5610 Removal, Out-of-School Suspension, Disciplinary Placement, and Expulsion of Students. And then lastly, we have 5611 entitled Due Process Rights. The chair will now entertain a motion to accept these policies.
So moved.
Mr. Keys made the motion. Anybody would like to second that?
Second.
All right, I heard Ms. Miller. Oh, Ms. Fields. Ms. Fields made that second. And Ms. Wyatt as well. All right, any discussion, board members, on these policies? I do see.
Yes, I just want to assure the public this went through a very robust work session, as well as the public had opportunity for comment on this during our special hearing. Yes, we had a hearing on this, public hearing, and so I just if there's any other policies in the future that you want to have discussion about, make sure that you sign up for our public hearings. But this did go through a very robust process.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Sharpless. Seeing no other comments, I will now call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Moving down to S2, this is Davenport School of the Arts, and it's a naming of a building request. The recommended action is to approve the naming of the music building after Brian Keir at Davenport School of the Arts. Does anyone wish to make a motion to approve this item?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Keys has made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Wyatt has seconded. Board members, any discussion on this item? All right, Mr. Keys, you are recognized.
Thank you, Chair Allen. I just want to say that already expressed my pleasure in this at when we discussed at the work session, but this is long overdue, and what a great opportunity to honor Mr. Keir.
Thank you, Mr. Keys. Ms. Fields, you are recognized.
Basically, just dittoing what Mr. Keys has said. I remember Mr. Keir with his sunglasses always over his forehead. An amazing gentleman. Every time I think about Davenport School of the Arts, he quickly comes to mind. So I would say congratulations to him and well deserved.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. At this time, I just wanted to, if there's any family members or anybody present in the audience that would love to come up and speak, this would be now a great opportunity just to share some words before we vote.
So I just want to thank you. I'm Holly Keir, Brian's wife, and I just want to thank you so much because I know he would be here tonight, but he's not allowed to know about any of this. So it was very hard for me, and I have to explain where I've been all this time. But thank you for moving S all the way up. So I really appreciate it. But the most humble man I've ever met in my entire life. We've been together 43 years, and he just devoted his entire life to the school. And it still touches my heart so much that kids today still call him, and we'll get Merry Christmas, everything from them, and I can tell the difference that he's really made in somebody's life. So for him, this is the most humbling thing. He would never, ever, ever want it, but I am just so thankful that you guys did this. So I appreciate it.
Indeed. Thanks for being here. Yeah.
And we love these people right here.
So we're super excited. You guys heard me at the work session, but this is one of our assistant principals, Alicia Hughes. We actually worked alongside him as assistant principals for a number of years, so I'm going to let her say a few things about Mr. Keir and the naming, so thank you.
That's awesome.
She didn't tell me she was going to do that. Thank you so much. Just from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I don't know that any of you will ever know the depth of his love for establishing Davenport School of the Arts as what it is today. And he believed in me 11 years ago. And I thank him from the bottom of my heart. And I will never be the same. I'll only be better because I spent time with him as a leader and grew so much stronger as a leader. So thank you so much. Thank you for approving this. And again, don't tell anybody, it's a secret. It's really a secret. Okay.
So one more little funny, that was mentioned last time, the whole secret thing. Yeah. So she was texting me all day going, what do I tell Brian? I'm like, I don't know. Have your daughter call and invite him to dinner. Because he was like, I'll drive you to your meeting. I'll drive you. Can I go with you? And she's like, no, you can't go with me. So it was a big old thing. But anyway.
Oh, that's amazing. Indeed, indeed. Thank you all so much for your impact. All right, board members, we will now, I'll ask for a vote. So those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed on this item? Indeed. All right, so that motion has passed. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, we are down to S3. This is the half-cent sales tax oversight committee nominee for Sarah Corona. The recommended action is to approve Sarah Corona to our oversight committee. Does anyone wish to make a motion to approve this item?
I so moved.
All right. Mr. Sharpless has made the motion, and Mr. Keys has seconded. Any discussion? All right, great. Mr. Sharpless, you are recognized.
So Ms. Corona reached out to me saying she wanted to get involved, wanted to give back to the school district, learn more about the school district as a member of Inside PCPS Class 3. And so, whenever a school board member gets that kind of call, we want to try to plug them in somewhere, right? And so I thought this half-cent sales tax oversight committee would be a good place for her to get involved. I remember doing the same thing to Mr. Wilson many years ago, saying I wanted to get involved and try to give back to the school community. And Mr. Wilson found a spot for me on the attendance boundary committee where I met Mr. Keys. But this is an individual that does want to get involved, so I wanted to make sure to give them that opportunity. I do want to read Sarah's bio real quick. A skilled and highly motivated health services management professional with extensive experience overseeing operations in a fast-paced medical practices. With expertise in strategic planning, budget management, team leadership, credentialing, contract negotiations, and compliance, she has a proven ability to optimize organizational performance and drive efficiency. Currently serving as the CEO of Florida Behavioral Medicine, she leads all aspects of operations, including strategic planning, financial management, accreditation, and team development. She has successfully managed multi-site healthcare practices, spearheaded process improvements, and overseen significant projects such as launching an outsourced call center and collaborating with Nova University on a preceptor program. Her background also includes significant leadership roles in healthcare surgical centers, where she improved revenue and operational efficiency across multiple clinics. She holds an MBA and Master of Science in Leadership from Grand Canyon University, further enhancing her ability to drive growth and lead teams effectively. Beyond her professional roles, she is deeply involved in community leadership and service. She currently serves as Vice President of the Kiwanis Club of Northeast Polk County, Community Relations Director for the LULAC Women's Council of Florida 7269, and Vice Chair of the Parish Finance Committee at St. Joseph Catholic Church. She's also an active member of the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, Code Enforcement Committee, and the Polk Vision Public Service Leadership Program. Additionally, she serves as president of the Polk County Republican Latino Club and was part of Polk Vision's Inside PCPS program, class number 3. Fluent in English and Spanish, she is committed to fostering effective cross-cultural communication, improving patient care, and supporting the growth and sustainability of healthcare organizations. So she has a great background and is one I think could add value to the half-cent sales tax oversight committee.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Sharpless. Seeing no other comments, I'd like to call for a vote at this time. Those in favor of approving Sarah Corona to our half-cent sales tax oversight committee, say aye. 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 Any opposed? All right, and that motion carries. We are going to move past letter T, our public hearing tonight. We do not have any items for that, so we'll move right past that. And we are now transitioning to the superintendent's report. Superintendent, you're recognized.
Mr. Chair, the next work session and board meeting will be held on March 25th, 2025. The work session will begin at 12:30 p.m. and the board meeting will begin at 5 p.m. The meeting will be held at the district office located at 1915 South Floral Avenue in Bartow. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Superintendent. Next, we will move to our attorney's report. Mr. Murphy, you are recognized.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. Appreciate that. I would ask for request authority to advertise a public hearing to be held on April 22nd, 2025, during the regularly scheduled board meeting for policy updates that will be presented during the February 25th, or are presented during the February 25th, 2025 school board work session for rule development. The text of all proposed rules scheduled for the public hearing will be available at the time the notice is published. For information, and as we discussed earlier in our work session meeting, Policy 9271, Students Receiving Scholarships, Policy 7540.08, Artificial Intelligence, and Policy 5505 regarding academic honesty. I would also note that we had some conversation at the work session where we would be looking at, the superintendent and his staff would be looking at maybe finding some additional information and some tweaks to the proposed Policy 7540.08. Pardon me, Policy 5505, Academic Honesty. But in any event, I'd ask tonight for a motion authorizing this matter to be advertised for a public hearing on the April 22, 2025 school board meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Board members, you've heard the motion and the recommendation, so the chair welcomes a motion at this time.
So moved. Second.
All right, Mr. Keys made the motion and Mr. Sharpless seconded. Any discussion, board members? I'll call for a vote at this time. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. You are authorized.
Thank you, Dr. Allen.
Mr. Thank you so much. We do not have an auditor's report. You have received several emails from Ms. Matthews. So again, if you have any concerns, you can draw those to the superintendent's attention and follow up with those as well. We now move to the board members' report. I will start with the highest number tonight. So, Ms. Miller, you are recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Luckily, I was prepared for that move. I'm going to be quick tonight. I appreciate all of the emails that we've received from staff. I can tell you, and I think I alerted some of my PA members, that the automated emails often go to spam. So the people that reached out by phone or sent their personal stories to me that I got to talk to, I appreciate you taking the time to do that, and I want you to know that you're heard and valued, and we are one at Polk, or it won't work for any of us. So I appreciate the people that reached out, especially the ones who know me personally and shared their life experience. I want to talk about a little bit about where I got to visit the last couple of weeks and feature Auburndale High School. I usually up here cheering Lake Gibson on, but I do have 3 amazing high schools. I don't often hear a lot of the award ceremonies from all the schools, but I was excited to share that Auburndale's winter sports went really well. We had girls weightlifting finished with 5 of the girls qualifying for state, and 4 of them earning a medal at state, which is amazing. I love to see girls involved in all extracurriculars. Their girls soccer team was district champions, and they reached the regional semifinals. Their competitive cheer team competed at state and nationals. The Bloodhounds were really busy this winter. Girls basketball team reached the regional semifinals. The boys basketball team were district champions, and 2 out of the 3 girl wrestlers qualified for regionals, 1 district champion and 1 runner-up. So it's exciting to see the community support at the Auburndale athletic events, and we're very proud of those students. I want to thank Mike Music again. Some of us were on those visits, and I had a teacher at Caldwell that was so deserving of the roof that she won. Mr. Music owns a roofing company, and he donated 5 roofs to our teachers that were in need, and they were chosen, and we got to be there, and I felt like that was probably one of the best days I've had to be able to help a family out like that, and all I had to do was cheer her on. It was Mr. Music and his team doing all of the work. Another event that I thought was really neat was my first time visiting, and Mr. Keys was with me, was the Crossing Guards luncheon. The sheriff recognizes all of the crossing guards, and some of them I recognized. I had no idea that I would recognize them. But I want to especially recognize the 15-year crossing guard and 20 years. People have served that long. Gail Mucha for 15 years and Barbara Holovac for 20 years. It takes those people dedicated every day. We talk about, sometimes those students getting those hugs and high fives, that's rare for them, or it might be the only time they get to interact with an adult in that kind of way in their school day. And so keeping them safe and making sure they know they feel valued and loved is very important. I was also astonished at how many crossing guards had perfect attendance. They had like 16 crossing guards for the entire year of 23-24, did not miss a day. And without them, it puts our kids in danger because it's hard to find the people that fill in. It's a very odd work schedule. They work that morning and then they come back that afternoon, so they have to be available all day. And if you're looking to be a crossing guard and want to help out, please go to the sheriff's website, to their HR site, because those positions are available. Even if you can be a call-in, like a sub, they are in need of those. But that was a fun afternoon. I got to spend with Mr. Keys serving lunch to our crossing guards and letting them know how much we appreciate them. But that's all in my report. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. We are moving to District 6. Mr. Sharpless, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair Allen. Want to reiterate something that was talked about earlier tonight. Polk County AgriFest. It's going to be taking place March 3rd through 7th, as well as March 10th through 14th at the Polk County Agriculture Center here in Bartow. Every year I volunteer for a day to take around a bunch of 4th graders, interact with them, and help chaperone that experience. So I challenge and encourage my fellow board members to reach out to Carol McKenzie at the Polk County Farm Bureau. It's on the little card we have that was given to us, and volunteer and spend some time interacting with our students. It's a great experience, a great collaboration between UF IFAS Extension, Polk County Public Schools, and the Polk County Farm Bureau. I just really enjoy it every year. Also want to thank Board Chair Allen, Superintendent Hyde, and Representative Kenkart Johnson for joining me at the Polk County Youth Fair Parade of Champions this year, taking pictures with all the students that come through there. As someone who sits on the board of the Polk County Youth Fair, it's an organization that is near and dear to my heart, and a lot of our students excel, and to be able to celebrate them, to make them feel seen, and just congratulate them, it was greatly appreciated. So thank you. One other event that I will want to highlight, I attended last week with Board Member Keys. We went to, I'm going to steal a little bit of your thunder, you're probably going to talk about it later, but we went to the Northeast Chamber of Commerce, their annual education celebration luncheon, where they recognized every teacher and every support staff of the year that is within their service area, Northeast Polk County, and getting there and seeing them. And, one thing that really stood out to me, one of the teachers was the National Science Teacher of the Year here in Polk County. That's a big deal, and that's something that should be celebrated. And speaking of our teachers, I just want to be very clear. Since last summer, I've received over 2,700 emails from teachers in our district asking us to do the best we can to increase teacher salaries. I want to tell you, as a board member, I truly care about our teachers. I've got a mom who's a 24-year veteran in the classroom. I have a wife who's been teaching for 10 years, and I've got a brother who's taught for less than 5 years. So it's a wide variety when I sit down at the dinner table of veterans, middle of the road, and brand new teachers. And so I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart, that's something that I'm pretty passionate about, is helping our teachers out and helping them to receive the best salary that possible that we can offer. And that's all I can say about that right now. But thank you, teachers, for all you do.
Thank you, Mr. Sharpless. Moving to District 5, Ms. Fields, you're recognized.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. I want to proclaim that this month is Black History Month, and I am very thankful and very proud of all the people who have gone before me to make sure that I have the opportunities that I have before me. And I really work hard to educate my grandchildren, children that are a part of Girls Inc. and the community, because so many people died so that we could have the freedoms that we have, and I don't take it lightly at all. And so while we don't do proclamations anymore, I'm proclaiming as school board member, Kay Fields, District 5, that I will always celebrate and be appreciative of the celebration of Black History Month. I also want to thank Superintendent Hyde for the hard work that he and his team did to start our board retreats. I know that's a lot of work, and I know that there are a lot of things that need to be covered and taken care of, and I know that by the end of the fourth retreat, we will either have conquered it or we'll continue to work on it. So I want to thank you all for that. And I want to reiterate what Ms. Miller shared about Mr. Mike Music, who is one of the city commissioners for the city of Lakeland, and his company for awarding 5 people brand new roofs. That's a lot of money when you think about it, because we just had our roof replaced, and I tell you, it's not cheap. And I want to congratulate Ms. Cora Rankins, who is a teacher at Socrum Elementary, and she's very actively engaged in our community and very worthy of being selected. So congratulations, Ms. Cora. And I think that's it.
All right, Ms. Fields, thank you so much. Moving to District 4, Ms. Wyatt, you're recognized.
Thank you. I feel like the spring always gets really fun and longer reports because there's so many fun things going on. But several of us had the opportunity to go out to Davenport School of the Arts for their annual Leadership Day. Superintendent Hyde has already heard my request that we bring this program to more schools, and that the second graders that sang to us come and sing to us again, because I think we probably just need it on loop some days about the leadership skills that we all possess and how to utilize those. But I was only able to stay for a short time, but they do that so well. And it is every single person in their school is involved. It's not a one class, it's not one teacher heading it out. It is every single, from kindergarten through 8th grade, they all know their part and they do it well. Which is really cool to see that cohesion throughout the school. I just want to echo what some of my colleagues have said about Mike Music and Music Roofing, and thank them again for recognizing our school staff. I know it comes from a personal place for him, as we learned at Caldwell. The principal of Caldwell actually had his dad as a teacher. And she, shared with him that the teacher, the one from Caldwell, is everything that his dad would have embodied as a teacher. So it was very cool just to be on that journey with him and see him be able to give those out and truly make an impact in teachers' lives. And he said while we were there that he's hoping that this program will grow and continue. So that is exciting to hear as well. I also had the opportunity to coach 3DE at Lake Region High School. Ms. Miller, it's much less stressful coaching because you don't have to pick winners and losers. So I would encourage you all to sign up I know they're looking for some more coaches at both Lake Region and Tenoroc. You just have to give feedback. You don't have to pick winners and losers. So you can also judge. And then you pick the winners and losers. And some kids, they might cry. They're very passionate about their projects, and their projects are all really good, so it's really hard to choose. But I would encourage you to visit our 3DE programs and engage with them. And then finally, I would like to give a huge shout out to Winter Haven High School's girls basketball team, our Lady Blue Devils. They will be going to the state tournament for 15 out of the last 17 years. So I hope you all will join me in cheering them on over the next couple weeks, as I think we're bringing home a state title this year. So and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. White. Moving to District 2, Mr. Keys, you're recognized.
Hope somebody brought their pillow and their lawn chair. To echo what Ms. White says, it seems like there's this time of the year that it gets really busy. So to start out, I want to say I echo Mr. Sharpless and Mrs. Miller that on our recent slew of emails, we see those, and I will tell you that I make it a task to look at every single one, regardless if it's a copy and paste. And every time I see a personal anecdote in there, I will take those and put them off to the side and try to spend time each night to go through them. And the stories that I hear touching, know that we as a board, we hear you, and we work diligently to do everything we can to support our teachers. So it's very important to us. I also got to go to DSA's annual Leadership Day, and I will tell you what an awesome experience. And it was kind of funny as Mr. Hyde and I were walking down the sidewalk. We were going in there, and both of my daughters attend DSA, and my youngest one, second grader, she saw me and she waved and she said, "Daddy," and she came over. She wanted to kiss real quick, and Mr. Hyde said, "I hope that's your kid." But to see those kids, and those of you that don't know, that's a 7 habit school, and even as much so as there was an education symposium happening in Orlando, and that was the highest requested school. They had 3 charter bus loads full of educators that came and wanted to see what was happening at DSA, which is absolutely amazing. I was blown away, and even as much so as the son of Stephen Covey, Sean Covey, was there and was just commenting on how well run the school was and how it was just an example. So we should be proud in Polk County Public Schools that we have those type of offerings for our students. Next, I also got to go to some of those presentations for the roofs for our educators and support staff, and I will tell you, I don't know if it's because of me having 2 young girls now, but my backbone has been removed and tears flow when I see that kind of stuff, and what a great opportunity to honor those who serve in the community and serve our kids, and to say that we want to keep doing that and expand the program kudos to Mr. Music, because that is something that's so valuable. I put a roof on 2 years ago, and I'm not ashamed to say it was one of the biggest financial decisions I had to make in the last couple of years. So to be able to support those like that is awesome. Also went to the Crossing Guard luncheon with Mrs. Miller. That was such a wonderful thing. And I will tell you that you did miss out on, it got kind of ruckus in there because they did bingo afterwards. And yeah, that got a little wild, but what an awesome opportunity to honor them. And to those students, that starts their day, and that can make or break a student's day, that interaction they have at the first part of the day. And I was telling the sheriff as he was there, you know, that's something kind of, it's one of those things you don't, student safety is so important, and to see on some of these zones the way that our county has grown and the people don't always obey those laws. I have actually, probably shouldn't say this publicly, but chased folks down that speed through those zones when there's kids in the area and say, what are you thinking? Because these are our most precious resource, these students. So kudos to them for that. Also got to go to Gainesville for 2 days to FSBA's School Finance Forum to be able to speak to other school board members from around the state and know what they're doing as far as school finance, creative things that they're doing to increase and kind of look at their finances. Was encouraging to know their support there. Also was here for Polk Education Foundation, received the check from HCA, the $25,000 for Take Stock in Children. What an awesome opportunity that is, that to have that and to have Polk Education Foundation participate. And then finally, I did get to attend also, as Mr. Sharp was mentioned, the Northeast Polk Chamber Luncheon and honoring those educators in the Northeast area. Northeast Polk Chamber does that every year, and what an honor it is to come alongside our community members and businesses and support those students, or excuse me, those teachers who ultimately do the most important job ever, and that's taking care of our students. So busy time, but I will tell you, I've done a lot of things professionally, but I can say very few have been as rewarding as being able to serve as a school board member and to see the awesome things we have going on in Polk County. So that's all I have.
Mr. Keys, thank you for sharing your heart. Yeah, and I'm going to start with Mike Music as well. Having a chance to visit Spencer Holland and see lots of tears pour down our teacher's face as they received that nice award. Really interesting to hear about Mr. Music's dad and the impact there, but to also hear from Mike that his son Remington was going to the other schools to pass that out as well. So you just think about that family tradition and a sense of humble service. But what was really interesting to me about this situation as well is Mike had drawn attention to Jen Lay's work in the school district and her contribution to Southwest Elementary and starting our, taking part in starting our very first digital media academy in the county. And that's what actually inspired Mike Music to take part and to donate these roofs to our teachers, which is pretty cool. To see our community give back to our educators, pretty amazing. I just want to say thanks to Scott Franklin, Congressman Scott Franklin, and his office. He came out and visited Highlands Grove Elementary and led a little session with some elementary students. And I've heard Congressman Scott Franklin's story many times, but you hear so many different facets of his story by the way that our elementary students were asking him questions. It was so incredible to hear so many different angles that I hadn't heard about his life story. So anyway, he collected Valentine cards from our students and then hand-delivered those to the VA clinic, and had a chance to read those cards with veterans just recently, and I just thought that was a pretty sweet thing to do, and I appreciate Congressman Franklin being out in our schools and celebrating our students, and then obviously our veterans as well. I was thinking, Fred's or Fogo de Chao, right? Both of them are amazing. You might have one day of, comfort food, but comparing that to our school choice showcase, I would say it's the Fogo de Chao. And, you got the smorgasbord of incredible programs and offerings. So I had a chance to roam around at the Lakeland Mall and just see some great educators, great programs, great initiatives that's happening there. And the students led in a big way. And I'm sure we all took part in some of the showcases around the county, but it really is amazing just to sit and hear students talk about what they're learning and their passion, and just some incredible programs that we have to offer. It's the smorgasbord, and it's the fogo de chao of opportunities and school choice for our families and students. I don't know, there's so many more things. Yeah, it was great to be here in the boardroom and to receive that check for $25,000 for the Polk Education Foundation. So great work, Tracy Porter, for doing that. I did want to commend Chad Davis as well. He was out Frostproof. I had a chance to join him as well, and he shared our legislative platform with the Inside PCPS group. That was amazing, and I was speaking a little bit about the federal platform that we have with FSBA and COSBA. So a lot of other things. I guess lastly, Literacy Week was amazing. Just being able to celebrate that. I just want to say thanks to Principal Culture and Danielle Hippoly from Highlands Grove as well for inviting me out to do my pencil reading. And I had a chance to pass Superintendent on his way out. So thank you, Superintendent, for taking part in Literacy Week. I know that you participate every year at Highlands Grove, and that means a lot to them on campus there. So those are my comments for tonight, and I will conclude, and we will transition now to our public comments addressing items not on today's agenda. So as noted earlier, actually we didn't get a chance to note it earlier, but to register to speak, community members, you must fill out the speaker card in the lobby prior to the meeting. All speakers will be given 3 minutes. The light will turn yellow when you have 1 minute left, and you'll hear a beep when your time is concluded. Please note that although the board encourages community participation, no media action will be taken on items presented during this public comment time and this portion. So if follow-up board action is required, Superintendent could commission his staff members to take care of those immediately as well. So I have a list of individuals who have signed up to speak today. Could you please come forward when I call your name? State your name and address for the record, and then you'll have 3 minutes to speak. I'll call the second person as well, and if you can stand where the red line is as you wait. So the first person up is Victor Chandler, and then on deck would be Miss Yoakum.
Eagle Lake, Florida. Now, last time I gave you a salary schedule for board members. Went from $40,000 to $50,000 with 2% steps. That would allow board members to get a 2% raise every year without ever changing the salary schedule. Down at the bottom, I assume that board members, senior management, and the superintendent got the same 2% raise every year. Okay, what would happen? Well, the first year, the senior management position that paid $100,000 would move to $102,000. All board members would get a 2% raise, but their salary schedule would remain the same beginning salary, same top salary, same cost. Well, that sounds okay. Then you go out 10 years, and now the senior management position goes from $100,000 to $122,000. Board member might think something's wrong here because they see that their salary schedule is the same as it was 10 years ago. When they check the cost, it's the same cost as it was 10 years ago. Something's wrong here. Now let's step out 50 years. When 50 years would occur, that senior management position would go from $100,000 to $270,000. The board member would look at his salary schedule. Same beginning salary, same maximum salary. Yet every board member, every year got a 2% raise. Yeah, a step. A step is not an increase in your cost, reoccurring cost. Doesn't require reoccurring revenues to cover it. He would also look, and he would find out his salary schedule had a massive loss to inflation. While the one for senior management had no loss at all. What you should get here and to understand what steps represent is steps do not require an increase in reoccurring revenues, okay? And you cannot use them to justify salaries for other groups of individuals. That is a violation of state law 112.3173. And you better read what the penalty is for it because it is severe. And if you think that hasn't been done, next time I come, I'll show you not what might happen, but what did happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chandler. Ms. Yocum is up, and then Nancy Garman is on deck.
Stephanie Yocum, President of the Polk Education Association, who represents 9,000 of your employees and 70% of your workforce, and we are currently at negotiations still. We are on the eve of negotiating tomorrow, and so from some of your comments tonight, I am hopeful that we can bring this into the barn. But in order to do that, we need more money on the table. And so I am hopeful that tomorrow we'll have more money on the table to actually address the cost of living, address inflation for our teachers and staff, who a lot of them qualify for food stamps. A lot of them are working second and third jobs because they cannot make ends meet on the wage that they make in their primary job. So as a taxpayer of this county, as a parent of a student in our school system, as a teacher, and as the president of this union, we are asking this board to do three things. Number one, while you are in your retreats, dig into your budget. You have the power to make your budget. That's one of the only things that actually a school board gets to do is make policy and budget. And so take that power, lean into that power, and prioritize your budget so that staff can see cost of living adjustments, can see salary schedules continue to be decompressed, can see wages to where maybe they can get rid of their third job and maybe only work two jobs, or maybe get rid of their second job and maybe only work one job. The second thing that this board must do is work with our legislative delegation. We need funding mechanisms to change for this county because we are not a rural county, yet we are still funded like a rural county. We are more of a suburban urban county at this point. We're the 7th largest district in this whole state. We need funding mechanisms to change, and you as elected officials must work with the delegation when they're in Tallahassee during committee weeks, and we must stand together in that work through our union statewide, through the School Boards Association, and through the Superintendents Association to make these changes necessary so that we do have adequate funding. And then, third, you must go out for a millage in 26. We should have done it in 24, but that's said and under the bridge. We must continue to have the conversations to move forward so that we have a millage referendum, so that we have monies locally that we can control, so that we can fix, to Mr. Chandler's point, the performance pay salary is ridiculous. We need to move to a more traditional step and lane again. And in order to do that, we're gonna need millage money to do it, unless the state decides to just miraculously give us $5 billion into public education, which they should. They have the money to do it. But you as elected officials need to put pressure on the delegation to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yocum. Nancy Garman is up, and then we have Bernard Wells on deck. So no Nancy Garman. All right, so we have Bernard Wells up, and then next we would have Becky McLaughlin.
Greetings to each of you. My name is Bernard Wells from Winter Haven. In March of 2023, there was an article that appeared in the Lakeland Now newspaper stating that Polk plans to boost special education funding by $3.1 million, with monies coming from increased enrollment and Medicaid reimbursement. Ms. Castle-Williams, Tammy Castle-Williams, who was brought into the district as the Assistant Superintendent of Learning Support, in that article stated that there were additional ESC staff needed. Of those positions, particularly in the ESC department, a number of them were created. Senior Director of ESC, Director of ESC, Acting Director of Instruction, Assistant Director of Instruction, ESC Director of Compliance, Assistant Director, and it goes on. And if you go across the board, with all of these added directors, assistant directors, and so forth, perhaps that would answer some of the questions that the teachers are having about pay salaries. 2 years ago, I came before this board and mentioned that this district within 2 years was going to be so top-heavy that they were going to suffer from back problems. I think you guys, the district, is having back problems right about now because they're so top-heavy. Within that same article, Ms. Williams, Castle Williams, who came from Sarasota County, which she has some legal stuff going on down there before she moved here to Polk County. In that article, stated where the money was coming from. I think I just said that. But also in that article, there was a parent that made mention that her child was not receiving services, speech and language, I think it was, and had not received services from March to October of 23. In December of 22, in January of 23, I filed a systemic state complaint against this district for not following ESC student services. It was closed out. Either the ESC department lied then, or they put a Band-Aid on a cancerous measure of not giving students their services, because we are right back at that same issue right now with students not receiving their services. And
Thank you, Mr. Wells. Becky McLaughlin, you were up.
All right, first of all, I just want to say thank you for mentioning that you've heard what the teachers have been sending those emails, and that you are hearing that there's individual stories. I'm just one of them. I sent recently an open letter to Polk County School Board and District Superintendent. Hopefully you recognize my story as I read it, but I wanted to come here. My husband Joel was diagnosed with cancer 3 months ago. He's been hospitalized 5 times due to complications of his surgery, and while he's on short-term disability through the end of this coming next month, I'm keenly aware of his fragile health and the financial impact on my family if he's unable to return to work in just 1 month. As an elementary math teacher, I do love what I do, but I realize that without significant pay raises for teachers in our county, I will be forced to follow thousands of amazing educators leaving the students and profession that I love so that I can provide for my family. I am just one of many teachers facing similar challenges. And you can look at the budgets of when we have 2 incomes in my family as we have in the past. Until recently, that may very well change, and I may be forced to make some really hard decisions in the next month. When we left Seattle for a life that promised safer neighborhoods and lower cost of living, we knew that we were going to face lower wages in Florida. We soon realized that while housing prices were better, the overall cost of living, particularly for insurance, property taxes, and groceries, was much, much higher. And we love it here. Our community, our neighborhood, my school, our church, they're all amazing. But if my husband can't go back to work, the harsh reality is that we could lose our home because I can't afford it on a teacher salary. I've been a teacher for 5 years. I've been in education for 10, and working with kids and families probably since I was a teenager and moving forward. At this point, our school board and leaders, just from my perspective, are refusing to offer a fair contract and livable wage to the faculty and staff who do the work of educating students. And to combat the teacher shortage, the district employs over 700 unqualified substitutes to fill short and long-term positions, and leaders wonder why our students underperform compared to states that retain teachers with a fair and equitable salaries. There's a clear indication that our district leaders on board need to prioritize the welfare of students and teachers. I'm not asking to be rich. I didn't go into teaching for that, but I would put my life on the line to protect my students, and that includes their education, and as well providing for my family. We live in the fastest growing county in the United States for the last 3 years running. My school is now over 1,100 students. It can hold about 535. So we've added all the portables that we can have. Our kindergarten class, from kindergarten to 5th grade where I teach, we are busting at the seams. And as the gentleman referred to, kids not getting services, I've seen it time and time again because teachers are leaving. We don't have enough staff. We have to get these raises in. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, board members. Next order of business is adjournment. There being no further business at this point. All right. This meeting of the Polk County School Board is now adjourned.